Good morning, I'm J. Lenora Bressler, and welcome to the October 21st, 2017 edition of the Bible, Delight in the Details, where we look at often overlooked details of Scripture. We are in a multi-session series on the Exodus narrative, and today I want to talk about something that is often overlooked, and that is, we all know how great a man Moses was. We're told he was humble. We're told he was close to God, a friend of the Lord's, and he did great things on behalf of God and the kingdom. And he was a powerful man of God. There's no question about that. And yet, something that a lot of people kind of forget in all of that is that he fell short, and the Lord held him accountable, and actually exacted a penalty that many people may find rather draconian. Because at one point Moses got so frustrated with the complaining and the ingratitude of the people, because he did that, and because his reaction was that he took upon himself to strike a stone and have water come forward, something that the Lord had instructed him to do at another location. But he was presumptuous. He did it on his own without asking the Lord if that's what the Lord wanted him to do. Because of that misstep, he was not allowed to go into the promised land. As you know, God himself buried Moses. He had Moses come up to a mountain and look out over the promised land, but it would be his second in command, Joshua, and not Moses himself, who would actually lead them into that blessed land flowing with milk and honey. My friends, God does forgive us. He absolutely does, and thank God for it. But God does not always remove from us the consequences of our misbehavior. You know, I saw one time I heard a story about a boy who had used a fence for target practice. And his dad was very upset. And he showed him that while he could forgive him, the wood would never actually be the same. Things could be fixed, things could be patched, but it would never be in the whole condition that it had once been. You know, other people of God in the Bible certainly were forgiven for their foibles and failings, but they also had to deal with consequences, and some of them were very severe indeed. David, a man after God's own heart, in the aftermath of murder and adultery, had a child taken from him, a son whom he wanted desperately to live. And no matter what he did and how hard he begged, God said, no, this is the consequence. There are many times in our lives when we may be genuinely repentant, genuinely sorry, and we can go to the Lord and we can definitely expect forgiveness. But we cannot always expect him to just wave the magic wand and say, well, and because of that, because you're genuinely sorry and genuinely repentant, all relationships will be instantly restored. Any bad consequences will be taken away. No, we may still have to deal with the results that we have wrought in this life. Let Moses be an example to us. God was very kind to him. He let him continue in ministry. He let him do great things and great work. He let his reputation stay intact. God even allowed him to see the promised land and did the great honor of burying him himself. And yet, he did not remove completely the consequence of Moses' bad judgment that one day. He did not enter the promised land himself. I'm J. Lenora Bressler, urging us all to be careful, for while we always can look for forgiveness, we cannot always expect that the consequences of bad behavior will be removed from us. Visit me on another edition of the Bible, Delight in the Details. Have a great day.